Hello, everybody, and welcome to the new view. I'm Bassam, and today we're going to talk about Hollywood and Islamophobia. You know that Hollywood has been trying to make movies against Islam and Muslims all along. There are a lot of examples of this, but today we're going to talk about the movie American Sniper as an example. The movie American Sniper was made in 2014. The director was the famous Clint Eastwood. He was famous mostly about his movies as an actor. One of the most famous one is Good, Bad, and the Ugly. And also he has recorded a number of movies as a director. Mystic River, Letters from Iowa Jiba, Changeling, and the one that we are talking about named American Sniper. The American Sniper as a movie is based on a book with the same name. It's a biographical war drama film directed by Clint Eastwood, and as the main role or the leading role, Bradley Cooper plays the American sniper Christopher Scott Kyle, who was a soldier in Iraq, also known as the legend, the Devil of Al Ramadi, Tex and American Sniper. Clint Eastwood's works were mostly, made around or focused on the ideology of a savior, a strange man, usually quiet, coming out of nowhere and saving the day. Uh, American Sniper is the same thing. To better know Clint Eastwood and his ideas or his movies, we can also think of his political ideas. He is a Republican, so keep that in mind. The characteristics of Clint Eastwood's movies are usually based on a dark world with a bitter situation in the atmosphere, a lot of crimes and murders, and critics say that it's because of his honesty. He is honest, and then he shows the consequences of racism and racial discrimination. He shows the effects of insulting disabled people in the society and stuff like this. But in his personal life, Clint Eastwood doesn't show the same thing. But we're not here to talk about his personal life. We're talking about this movie, Hollywood Islamophobia, and stuff related to this. As I said, Clint Eastwood is a Republican, and because of that, he has a lot of relationships with politicians in this party. He is said to be a fundamentalist, hardliner Republican, and although he claims not to be, but he is. As you know, there are two main parties in America: the Republicans, or the hawks, the war lovers, and the Democrats, the DAWs, the peace lovers. But actually, you see wars made by Democrats too. The very war that we saw in Syria and in Iraq, killing millions of people, they were made or orchestrated by Obama administration. Obama was a Democrat. And the wars that Bill Clinton and the presidents before him made. Republicans in America are well and tightly connected to religious groups in Christianity, especially evangelists. Um, uh, the evangelist votes for them, helps them win elections. Now let's a little talk about evangelists in Christianity. They believe that a number of incidents should happen in the world to make the return of Jesus Christ possible. Among these developments in the world are the migration or colonization of Palestine by Jews, the construction of the Solomon Temple after it was destroyed in Beitul Maqaddas, in that area and the occupied territories. And you should know that unfortunately there are 3-4 years that or more that these evangelists are focused their attention on Shias and the 12th Imam. And they believe that the Antichrist that is supposed to come before the Christ, and is supposed to be a prerequisite for the return of the Jesus Christ, is the 12th Imam. They believe that, and they try to make that happen. Even groups, terrorist groups like ISIS, are, because of their symbolism and signs, all available in evangelism, the black flags, the killings, the way they kill, beheadings, crucifying, all of these, and even they coming from Afghanistan, all of these are mentioned in evangelist beliefs. They believe Afghanistan as the Great Khorasan, and they believe that Antichrist moves from Khorasan to Iraq and make their base for that. But because evangelists believe that we shouldn't wait for the signs to happen, we should make them happen. So this is what they are doing, and you should know that there is not a single document to prove that, in Islamic documents, to prove that there is a black flag or any other thing. And we don't have crucifixion or killing Christians in Islam. We don't have any of them. Republicans have a special view over Iraq. And that's why you see that most of the developments in this movie, in American Sniper, they happen in Iraq. The existence of ISIS in Iraq, which is one of the main elements of this movie, all of them are related to these ideas of evangelism, and it shows that even Clint Eastwood believes in such ideas. Why do they kill Christians? Why do they behead people? Why do they not kill Jews in Iraq? I'm talking about ISIS. Why was actually ISIS killing Christians? Because what they are trying to show to the Western audience is that this is the Antichrist. These are Muslims, and this is the Antichrist that is killing people in Iraq. The American, one of the other things that the American Sniper is trying to show as a movie is turning a cold-blooded murderer, killer, into a war hero. A killer who has killed 250 people, most of them being innocent people, and even not showing mercy to 3-4-year-old kids, is turned into a war hero in this movie. They are actually turning a killer into a hero in this movie, unfortunately. The movie is based on the true stories of the life of the American soldier Christopher Scott Kyle, famous as the Devil of Al-Ramadi. He has 160 official records registered in the world, but all of these records are far from the world records in this case. There are other soldiers in the world, even Russian female snipers in World War II against Nazis. They have had made records of 400 kills. And it is interesting that all of these soldiers and even women, they had the most basic training. They used very basic facilities, but yet they had records better than Kyle. There are interviews of Kyle about Iraqi people, and he mentions them as savages and wild animals. He says that the Iraqi soil is dirty, is not clean, and we are fighting against savages. The movie is made into two atmospheres. There are two atmospheres in the movie. One in the war in Iraq, and one the life of the soldier in America. And to try, the movie is trying to show that he's a family man. He supports his family, although there are these episodes that are made in America are very boring in point of movie making. Those that are made in Iraq are much more interesting. But the movie should do what it's supposed to do, and that is whitewashing American soldiers and these killers, and showing them as family guys, family people. At the beginning of the movie, you see that Kyle is practicing shooting with his father, and to show that he was interested in these kind of things, shooting and stuff, since he was a child. And on the other side, you see another sniper, Muslim sniper. He has a Quran on the desk in front of him. He is originally Syrian. So again, what you see is Islam against Christianity. The movie is trying to show that. In Iraq, for someone who kills Kyle, there's $180,000 bonus. And the sign that shows this announcement has a cross on it, and that's because the movie is trying to show that the Muslims are fighting against the Christian cross, and these are only some of the symbols that the movie is trying to make you believe. In one of the scenes, you see that Kyle is defending his brother against others, and to show that again, he's a family guy. He supports his family, and all of these are put in the movie in purpose. Clint Eastwood is trying to say, like other American directors, to show that men in America are just defending their family, and nowadays, in order to defend their family, they have to kill Muslims. Otherwise, if they don't kill Muslims, their families are in danger. And in the scene that he defends his brother against others, when he does the job, when the fight is over, he comes back to the table, he sits at the table, and there his father says a very important sentence. He says that, son, don't be a sheep that others rip you apart. Neither be the wolf that rips others apart. Be the shepherd's dog who defends others, who defends the suppressed. Again, this is a beautiful sentence, and we have this in Islam. This movie is trying hard to turn its audience against the Islamic symbolism. In different parts of the movie, you hear the sound of Allahu Akbar. And even at the beginning of the movie, when you enter the hell war that is happening in Iraq, it starts with the sound of Allahu Akbar. And there is also a scene that the dogs are tearing a dead animal corpus apart. You hear the sound of azan, and this is conditioning. The movie is trying to condition its audiences. In conditioning, whenever you like something, other things around it, you will like them. And whenever you hate something, everything around it, you come to hate. And this is what Hollywood is trying to make with Islamic symbolisms and Islamophobia. There's a lot of insult against Iraq and Iraqi people, Iraqi soil, even. You see the dog waste in the soil to show that it is a dirty area. And in some of the dialogues, you hear that America is the best country in the world. And you see Kyle is deeply influenced by the developments in September 11th. You see that he's looking at his wife. Suddenly he turns and he sees the September 11th scenes on TV, and there's an explosion of patriotism in him. And he says that in his dialogue, he says that I want to join the army and serve my country. You also see that he's perfect in his training, in his military training. And when they ask him, why do you want to go to Iraq? He says that we want to go to rape their women. And there's a lot of insult. There are a lot of insults in the movie. The movie has a strong language. Why not? Clint Eastwood is a cowboy. He's still interested in cowboys. He wants to be a cowboy as he was when he was an actor. And you see in the movie that Kyle also is interested in the cowboy life. He trims horses in Texas, and at the same time when he goes to war, he says that I want to try to trim savage people. And when he says, when I cannot trim these people, I have to kill them. As I said before, Kyle was raised in a Christian religious family, and in one of these dialogues he said that this war scene looks like the stories in the Bible, and we are fighting the Antichrist. What Hollywood tries to show Muslims to the world is as savage people, as zombies. As you saw in the movie World War Z, they built a wall, a very tall wall around Israel. Why? Against what? Against Muslims that are turned to zombies. So I try to show what Hollywood and American movies trying to do with their illusions that they give to their audiences. What we should try to do is have a new view over these movies to understand what they're doing. And I hope these programs or programs like this help people have this kind of new view and understand what Hollywood is trying to show. If you haven't subscribed yet, first I need to thank you for watching us and ask you to please subscribe, share the movie if you think that it is interesting, and please come back again. We will come back to you with more interesting information. Thank you very much, and have a good day.